Hi, and welcome to Coach's Corner, where systems matter and both personal and professional learning and development is beneficial for everyone and essential for some. As always, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Let's get started.
So talking about, we're going to move to salespeople or, salesmen, saleswomen. Why do you think they have such a bad rap, right? I mean, you're like, I got a salesman at the door. Why do you think they get a bad rap?
Because they're donkeys.
Okay.
Right? So I tell my guys, I said, if you want to be a pushy salesperson, sayonara, right? Because I'm not into that. Because really, those people are into it for one thing. Yeah, that's right. It's a transactional situation. I'm gonna sell.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, if you're that person, then you're not going to be around anyway. And part of selling to me is taking care of them if whoever you sold for. So as an example, so I'm selling life insurance, but I'm a self-employed independent contractor. I had 100 different insurance companies that I could sell, right? So, but I always told my people, I said, don't call me first. Call the company first, because they'll have more answers for you. Yeah. But if the company's the donkey, then you call me, and I'll go and talk with them on your behalf. Right. So, the sales there, and in life insurance, which is what I primarily sold, as a supplementary retirement plan.
Yeah.
Great plans, by the way.
Yeah.
It was kind of a set it and forget it, because it wasn't like property and casualty. I would never do that insurance because, this claim, that claim, that I'm like, no, thank you. Right? That's pretty time intensive.
Yeah.
So I think that it depends, what kind of salesperson you are. I'm competitive, but I'm not going to be a donkey about it. But I like to win, right? It's a competitive situation. Either you're going to sell me on why you're not going to buy what I'm trying to sell you, or I'm going to sell you on the other end of it.
Right.
So to me, it's a competitive situation.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I've got an advantage over you. Number one, I won't sell anything that I don't 100% believe in.
Right.
People used to tell me, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like when I do insurance, I was so excited about this plan because I researched, I'm a researcher.
Yeah.
If need be, right?
Yeah.
They don't call me anal boy for nothing.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to get the best product for me, but I also want to get the best product for somebody else. I don't want to go out and be historically incorrect.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was born and raised in this town, and even if I wasn't, that's the way I was raised. So, you go out and you can push or touch without shoving. And I'll give you an example of this. And this was more than I did this is a sad story, actually. So usually I would go out and share with people, and I felt like my presentation was a slam dunk. I'm like, dude, if you don't buy this, again, if it's 25 feet, whatever, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just such a no-brainer.
Right.
We used to call it immediate protection while securing your future. Right? And I used to tell them, I said, look, God forbid something happens to you.
Yeah.
But if something happens to you, and if you're not the primary, breadwinner, but you are, in today's day and age, two people to make a household usually.
Right.
I said, if you pass away, I said, is your wife going to be a mental and emotional wreck? And he's like, yeah. And I said, and what about your kids? They're like, yeah. I said, well, why should they also be a financial wreck? And so, I gave it to him, right? And he's like, no, whatever. Well, I didn't used to call those people back, right?
Yeah.
But this guy was a pretty good friend of a friend.
Okay.
And so, to try to make the long story short, I called him like 3 times, and I never did that.
Yeah.
I was pretty much one and done, and then I'd put you on a tickler file, and I'd tell you, look, if you don't want to hear from me ever again, just tell me, no, never, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
But I said, I realize life's about timing. What you think that you need today or don't need, you may need later. And so I wanted to always help people.
Yeah.
But with this guy in particular, I called him once a month for 4 months. And as life would have it, there was a gangbanger that stole a car. And he was being chased by the police. And there was an overpass. My guy was parked. And the guy's going 100 miles per hour, hits him and kills him. And so, I felt terrible, but I felt good that I at least really tried to push him, not be pushy, but push him, nudge him, not shoving him.
Right.
To say, hey, I think you need this for your family. And they wound up being a wreck. They had to move back in with his mom and dad, the kid. You know, I mean, it's a mess anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, to me, it depends on what kind of salesperson it is. But, and it's terrible. You know, if people tell me no, I say, is that no never? Or is that no not right now?
Right.
That's what I ask them. And if they say that's no never, I don't bother them again.
Yeah.
I'm done. If they say, no, not right now, I say, good, I'll put you on a little system, a little tickler file I have. It'll send you out an email once a month or, you know, a text once a month or, you know, something, you know, of those natures.
Yeah.
Or I'll have my guys send you a DM or something. Or maybe it's once every 3 months. I said, we're not going to hound you.
Yeah.
Right? We're not going to twist your arm so that you can buy this product or whatever.
Yeah.
So, you know, pushy salespeople, I'd say, donkeys.
Donkey.
Yeah, they're donkeys.
I've heard you say this before, but hopefully you can explain it. You've said that everyone is a salesman or saleswoman.
Absolutely.
And why do you say that, or why do you believe that?
Simple, right?
Okay.
So, you know, we salespeople get a bad name, and I used to think the same thing when I was teaching. Like, oh, salespeople, you know. Well, then as you get into it or you get older, you view, like, perception is reality.
Yeah.
You view things differently. And somebody told me, one of my mentors in the insurance business said, you're a great salesman. This was early on.
Yeah.
You're a great salesman. I said, no, I'm not. Because, you know, it was negative to me even at that time.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, when you hear salesman, what do you hear?
Yeah.
And I go, oh, they're blah, blah, blah. He goes, nah. He said, they're influencers. And he said, you're a great influencer. He said, you lead 223 people in the after school program. You lead this team of 40 kids. You lead, right? And that just completely just twisted my brain on what it was.
Yeah.
So as I started thinking about it, because now I have a new perception,
Right.
I was like, dude, you know how many sales jobs are going on in a day just with one person?
Okay.
About 4 billion, right? Even with my 2-year-old, even when you were 2,
Yeah.
I'm either going to sell you on why you're going to sleep at 9, or you're going to sell me on why you're not.
Right.
There's no happy mediums there,
Yeah.
right? So there's sales jobs going on all the time,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And so to me, it's something that people look at in a negative way because of pushy salespeople.
Yeah.
But to me, it's a great skill set that you better have as a human being, let alone as a business person or as an entrepreneur.
Right. Absolutely. When it comes to being a young salesman in the whatever it is, real estate, well, like you said, everyone's a salesman, but for their career,
Yeah.
their job as a salesman, car salesman, real estate, life insurance, what is the best advice you got from someone, or something you realized later on working it, 2, 3, 4, 5 years?
Yeah, well, quit selling benefits and features.
Okay.
What I mean by that is, and we've talked about this before,
Yeah.
Using the example of a young mother who's trying to get a radio to get music to be able to be played,
Yeah.
so that their kid will go to sleep, because they say music soothes the savage beast. I listen to Frozen all day. I'm all hyper, and I listen to ballads, right? Calms me down, right?
Yeah.
And so what most inexperienced or young salespeople would do is they want to sell.
Yeah.
So that's a problem. People can read that, right? Like I have to have this seller I don't eat today.
Yeah.
You don't ever want to be there. You know that as a runner. If you're all tensed up, man, that didn't feel good on my neck. Dang. No wonder they say don't do that, right? I worked out today. I did traps. My freaking neck's killing me. But anyway, you don't want to be tensed up. So what's your mindset, right? And I say that's where you start pretty much everything.
Yeah.
I have to have this sell. No, my mindset was I already researched this product or this service or whatever. I already know you need it. So my mindset, check, right?
Yeah.
And then get organized. Well, what do you got to have to get organized around? Well, I got to have my closing application. I got to have my, my list that I give them. You go to the mall and it says you are here.
Yeah.
And this is where you're going, right?
Right.
So, when you build a tract home, they don't give you lists.
Right.
Yeah, they just go. But you build a custom home, those guys are cool because you know exactly where they're at and are they on schedule and all that.
Yeah.
So, again, you take, when you asked earlier
Yeah.
about what's your favorite job, I just learned that from building a custom home.
Right.
So you learn stuff. If you got to have a learner's mentality.
Yeah.
So and ask the question again, because I got off on my doggone deal.
The advice for a young
Yeah.
salesman.
So there's your mindset. Get organized around that to where you're like, I got my closing papers ready to go.
Yeah.
Right. So then you have the transaction, which is where everybody messes up and they sell benefits and features. So if I'm a car salesman and you come in, I see you looking at a Fiat or whatever.
Yeah.
Do they have Fiats?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're looking at a Fiat. I don't know what a Fiat is. So you're looking at a Dodge truck.
Okay.
Right. So then I would walk up and I would start selling the benefits and features. Oh, look at this. You got this little ramp for your leg to get on to get in the truck. You've got treble and you got bass. You got this nice stereo. You got leather seat, right? All this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I've already blown it,
Mm-hmm.
right? What I should do is try to figure you out from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was walking out to you as the car person, were you only looking at trucks, or were you also looking at vehicles that had, of 2 doors or 4 doors?
Mm-hmm.
Were you only looking at a certain type of truck, like a big, I don't know what they call them, but the half tons? Or were you looking at, So I'm already figuring you out as I go. I call it playing king and queen of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm playing king and queen of the world, and I'm a caption looker. I'm saying, what is this guy trying to accomplish?
Right.
But I'm not going to assume anything, but I'm going to try to figure it out. But I'm just going to ask you,
Yeah.
hey, bud, how you doing? What are you trying to accomplish today?
Right.
Oh, I'm just looking. And I say, okay, are you really just looking, or are you interested in buying? And then they'll say, because I used to go on the lot and I was just looking. They're trying to sell me something. I'm like, dude, I'm 90 days before I'm going to buy something.
Yeah.
And if you push on me, then I'm not going to get your card. And when I come back, you're not going to be my sales guy.
Yeah.
But if you listen to what I'm saying, I'm going to take your card and I'm going to be that rare bird that calls you when I come back.
Right.
But they're not used to that. Well, that's not my problem.
Right.
Right? You're dealing with me. You're not dealing with Joe.
Yeah.
So I'm going to find out what's going on. And so let's say that you're saying I'm just, and you say, no, I'm just looking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say, great. Do you want an extra set of eyes? I can look with you, or I'll walk away if you'd like to be by yourself because you're just looking.
Mm-hmm.
Which one would you like? And let's just play along here.
I think that I'll just look by myself today.
Great. So here's my card. If you have any questions at any time, day or night, as long as before 10 p.m.
Yeah.
and 6 in the morning, you give me a call. But other than that, I'm going to leave you be.
Okay.
So what happens is that what am I saying to you? I'm asking you, what do you want? And I'm giving you what you want.
Right.
Right? And so now you're like, man, this guy's pretty cool. He's not like every other pushy salesman trying to sell me a car.
Yeah.
You were going to say something.
I would say, well, what about let's go inverse now. Yeah, would you look with me?
Yeah. Where do you want to go first? Or what? And then I go a little deeper. Like, I saw you looking at trucks, but I also saw you looking at the Charger over here.
Right.
What were you really looking at? Or what was something that, caught your eye? Or was it just general, or was there something specific? So I call it the not the kid in the candy store.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but it's the kid where you go, do you want the chocolate with nuts or the chocolate without nuts? We're not going to talk about the chocolates and the sour whatevers and the sweets and the hard candy and all that.
Right.
I know that you were looking at 2 different cars, so I'm going to say that. Was it the Charger or this? And I might say a third alternative, or was there something else? But I'm going to find out, bottom line, what are you looking for? So let's play along.
Well, I got a newborn coming in, so I'm trying to figure out, I would like the Charger, but I know that's only 2-door versus this, is 4-door and it allows me to have a, baby seat. Do you think I could fit a baby seat in the back of the Charger, or, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely you can, but you won't like it. So, but instead of me talking you through it, I want you to get in and out of the back of that car 10 times right now. And about 3 in, you're like, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
I need a 4-door.
Right.
Right? So the best learning is natural learning.
Yeah.
So I said, don't let me tell you about it. You go experience, because remember, they're already looking at you cross-eyed like, you're a salesperson.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, you're not going to like it, but you experience it on your own, and you'll figure out real fast before 10, you're like, screw this.
Yeah.
Right? So now we've eliminated half the field, but have I eliminated it? No, you eliminated it for yourself.
Right.
So now you're like, man, I really like this guy because he's not pushing anything on me. He's just steering me in the right direction.
Right.
So now we come over and say, okay, so is there any color that's him? So I can go on and on with
yeah.
this, right? So you probably want an automatic, not a standard shift. Is there any color? So let's say you're 20 years old or 22 years old, you're having your first kid. You say, yeah, I want red. And I'm gonna say, hey, you can do what you want with a red, but let me just give you my experience. And by the way, I don't make any more money whether it's red, black, green, or yellow. Just so we're clear, I said I had 4 tickets in my red car in 7 months. I've had 0 in my black and gray cars.
Right.
So I'm guessing that kid's gonna cost you a little money. You probably don't want to spend an extra $2,000 on tickets, even if you're only going 5 miles per hour over, because you're gonna stand out in the cops too. Right. So I'm just gonna go with this back and forth, and by the end, we're gonna find something that suits your needs, financially and otherwise. To me, that's a great salesperson. And so, benefits and features, no. Find solutions to their challenges or their problems, but you have to talk with them. You have to interact to find out what are they really trying to accomplish. And then if they're trying to accomplish something that you think is off base, like a red 2-door whatever, you say, hey, I'll sell you whatever. It's your money. But I'm just telling you, or you show them, get in and out of there 10 times. Or if you can't, go get the cop, then you would tell them the story, what I call a touch point.
Got it. So my question was going to be, what makes you a great salesman? I think you just explained that. So I will change that into, why do you think you were like that to become such a great salesman? Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that, just like you had said, think about what we are, a collection.
Mm-hmm.
We have our certain genetics and DNA.
Yes.
So I'm a type A hyper personality.
Yes.
God gave me that as just genetics.
Right.
Then you have your environment, the way you're raised. Well, I was raised in a Greek family. If you've ever watched the movie 300, that's how we were raised. It was competitive. It was in your face. We were debating and talking trash and, just super ultra competitive. All athletes, highly accomplished. Mom doesn't seem like, she's all that in a bag of rocks. That's what my mom says instead of a bag of chips. She's 74. But she's competitive. She just does it in a different way.
Yeah.
Right? So I'll tell you in your face I'm competitive, and she'll be like slicing you up as she's smiling at you, So everybody has a different way to do that. John Stockton, he wasn't in your face, but he was slicing you up. Versus, Rodman and Barkley are in your face telling you. Either way, it's all good. But, so I think that, you have your genetics and DNA, then you have your environment, and then you have circumstances and experiences that will heighten or lessen whatever it is that you have already.
Yeah.
And so for me, I just care about people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes me a great salesman.
Yeah.
So I if we were talking about insurance, I know everybody needs insurance unless you're older and you have a bunch of money. Mm-hmm. Then why do you need insurance? Right. Although I can make an argument for it that would say, because I've had to deal with this in one of the other businesses that we did, estate planning.
Right.
That's a mess.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody talk about emotion. You got 3 brothers or 2 brothers, whatever, and that's why we did estate planning. There wasn't a lot of money in it for us.
Right.
But we were helping. The last one I did, just on a side note, the lady come up to me at the end in tears and goes, "I didn't know how emotional I was." Yeah. Because we told her, like, if you want to come hang out, you can, but I don't recommend it. Yeah. Just don't come. Just let us take care of it. And she was very thankful that we did that, because she came for like 5 minutes one day and she just had to leave. So, when you come from that spot of just helping people, and then you're smart enough and thoughtful enough and take enough ownership in the process of learning your trade or your traits, then how can you not be good at it?
Right.
If I care about you first, and pretty much you only, although I like win-win situations, right? But if that's my primary, I've walked away from a $50,000 bill in my pocket before because it wasn't best for the client.
Right.
Right? Now, I'll tell you, that same client brought me $250,000 worth of business later. That's not why I did it, though.
Right.
But usually if you're good to people and you're doing right things for right reasons, it'll come back to you. And if it doesn't on this earth, it will somewhere else probably. And if it doesn't, who cares?
Yeah.
Because there's no greater thrill, in my opinion, to be able to help somebody, especially if they were here and you helped them to get here.
Right.
That's a big deal in my book.
Yeah. Who was the best salesperson you've ever dealt with, excluding yourself?
Oh, I can't even remember. My wife says, "Do you remember that?" And I go, "Was it more than 3 seconds ago?" Because I just move on.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you who was I'm not saying the best, but my dad was a good sales guy. He's the one that taught me. He used to do old wood shaft golf clubs.
Yeah.
And he ran the West Coast. And he used to sit and make us watch him negotiate. And I hated him for it. Like, sorry, Dad, love you.
Yeah.
Right? But, when you're a kid, you're just like stink mouth and stink eye. You're just like, you were never that like that with me, were you? And I'm just like that punk. But anyway, another great story. I got a few.
Yeah.
So my buddy, when I was like 20, he was an old track buddy of mine.
Yeah.
He lived in Turlock, which is
I'm going to stop you because we're going to go into negotiating. So I don't want you to spoil that story.
Oh, okay.
So, but I know where you're going to go with that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but that was fun.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that because that's in not the next one, but the next one after that.
Dang it.
Yeah.
You've got this planned out?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you prep too.
I did.
You got a good mindset. You get organized around your mindset, then you solution showcase.
Yes.
And then you collect data and you thoughtfully advance.
Yep.
My brother.
If you need to contact Brett or Coach, please do so on his social media accounts, email, and or text. You can find that information in the description below. Again, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Thanks, and we hope you enjoyed.
Jesus Xandas.